Okay, over to you, Joe.
Okay. For any of you who haven't been on the last couple of sessions, the slight edge, as Derek says, is freely available on the internet, and it's about taking little steps, easy steps, but taking them consistently to give you the slight edge, and easy to do, but also easy not to do. So we have to pay attention in order to keep doing them. And the idea is that it actually only takes a slight edge to get success rather than failure. And so by doing these things consistently, we can set ourselves up for success. So we've reached chapter 3. Is time on your side? So all about time this week. And a couple of quotes from the book. Time is the most powerful force for change. And position your daily actions so that time is working for you instead of against you, because time will either promote you or expose you. So last time the chapter 2 was also saying it's a double-edged sword. The slight edge is always working, and it can either work for you or against you. So we're in a society now where it's very easy to lose touch with reality and believe that we can have an instant life or instant success, or things will happen very quickly. And one of the examples he gives is that we watch films, and you can watch one or more consecutive lives being acted out within two hours, and we've maybe lost the skill of waiting for things. I think the internet also has made that even more true. But time is important, and it's important to our success. So you plant, and then you cultivate, and finally you harvest. But in today's world, everyone wants to go directly from plant to harvest, whereas actually it's the cultivation that matters, because planting and harvesting are just two discrete activities, whereas cultivation is a whole series of sequential activities, and depending on what you're growing, you may have to water it repeatedly, you may have to weed it, you may have to fertilize it, and you may have to do that over and over again. So it's not just a case that you can go from the beginning to your objectives. You have to go through the process. And this one goes back to the last chapter, chapter 2. It's easy to make the right choices and do the right actions. Though those are the steps that we need to go through to cultivate the plant, or our goal becoming a success. But it's just as easy not to do as to do it. So if you don't do those steps, it won't obviously make any difference. There's not a lot of feedback immediately, so it won't make any difference today, but it will make a difference in future. And so this is one of the illustrations from the book, and it's showing that you can either choose simple disciplines that work to grow the business, or you can make simple errors in judgment that will fail to grow the business. And this is the time axis. Initially, you can't tell from your results that it's making any difference at all, but over time it makes a definite difference, and over more time it makes a real, obvious, clear difference. So it's about keeping doing the things that work even when you can't see the difference, because in time that will make a big difference. And it refers to the movie of your life, and so make the right choices today, and compounded over time, they will move us up the success curve. So I found this one interesting. We have to make the choice to make the choice. So we have to make the choice to have a different attitude in order to find the discipline to keep making the choices, to do the steps that make the difference. And he talks about making the choice to put your effort on the right side of the scales. So you put your effort, maybe you add a pebble to the success side of the scales, and then you add another pebble, and then you add another pebble. And if you keep doing that, then you end up with a whole pile of pebbles, or in this case rocks. I couldn't find a picture of a big pile of pebbles, so you have to excuse that. But it's the persistence that makes the difference. Because it's the compound effect of adding more and more pebbles, or more and more actions that take you in the right direction. And then he goes to talk about a flywheel, but I thought a children's roundabout was the same principle, and much more fun and colourful. So you've got lots of children sitting on this roundabout. It's quite heavy, and you've got two children pushing it. And when they start to push this heavy roundabout round, it's going to be really hard work. It's going to go really slow to start off with. But as they carry on pushing it, it's going to get faster and faster, and they'll end up running to keep it going. And it's now got loads and loads of momentum to it. And it'll be very hard to stop. They'll have to put a great deal of effort into stopping it if they want to. because they've gone to the effort of getting it moving when it was hard to move, and they've built the habits that make it move and keep it moving, and that's what we're aiming for. So more quotes. The slight edge puts time on your side. You need to form habits that feed success. You need to stay in the process long enough to give it the chance to win. And it all starts with a choice to consistently do the things that are going to make a difference. So that means we have to cultivate patience, which again is something that's becoming less and less common in our society. And one way of cultivating patience maybe is, instead of sitting there sort of getting upset because things aren't happening fast enough, is to live in the moment. So when you live in the moment, when we live in the moment, you're actually paying attention to all the things that you have to do right now to keep things going. And walking a high wire will focus the mind a lot more than do I pick the phone up right now and make another call to someone? Do I write another post on LinkedIn? But it's exactly the same thing. If you're in the moment, it's much easier to keep going, and you won't get bored that things aren't happening. So I think that's the essence of chapter 3, but I wanted to bring it back to Hyperfund. And I've shown this slide on the previous 2 chapters, that the simple steps of our business are generating leads, contacting those leads to get to the point of inviting people to a presentation, and then following up with them, signing them up, getting them on board, and making the process duplicatable so that we teach people we bring in to do the same things, and we engage in trainings like this one. But this chapter's about time, and I thought, well, actually, there's a lot of things in terms of our success in this business that have to do with time. So the Rebuy strategy is one of them, and it's maybe the easiest daily task to motivate myself to do, is to look at doing the rebuys. And if you do rebuys, then you get this sort of curve of pending rewards or daily rewards with time. And to be fully compliant, I've taken all the numbers off the axes, but it doesn't matter, that the curve's this sort of shape. And so right at the beginning, you can see some growth, but it's really slow. And if you've come in with a 300 HU package, it's going to be really slow to wait to get your your first rebuy, but the time between rebuys is gradually going to decrease. There's another thing that we can do. Oh yeah, and obviously, if you wait, it starts to get way steeper, and you're rebuying every day. Then you're rebuying multiple 50 HU memberships every day, and you can really start to see that you're being successful. You can obviously increase this by building a network. And as you build a network, you start to move the curve in this direction. And these two curves are actually only building quite a small network, so that your hyperdrive rewards, your network rewards, are still less than your own passive rewards. Many people, and definitely Derek, their network rewards exceed their passive rewards, and in that case the curve's way over here. So this taking off of the growth, the momentum from the roundabout analogy is happening much quicker. A final thought though, because the other thing that we can do to influence this is, do we rebuy with all our rewards, or do we start to take income from it? And the longer you can wait to take income, the better, because you want this to be getting really steep, for your daily rewards to be getting really high before you take anything out, if you possibly can. And it obviously depends on circumstances, which is what's possible. But here's what the curve looks like if you, from the very beginning, you only rebuy with half of your rewards and you take the other half out. And it's quite dramatic, because you're doing it early on, where rebuying with your rewards makes the most difference actually, even though you can't see it. It's all the work you do in this area to plow the rewards back in that causes this steep rise later. And this curve is going to take a lot longer to go steep. So time really does make a difference to this business. And we can influence time by rebuying and growing a network. So that is all I had to say on this subject, and I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Jill. That was very enlightening, especially how you married the two together in Hyperfund and time and everything else. And I think that's something I've learned a lot about. Just to relate before we actually go into an open session. I joined on the same day as my sponsor Boris, and Boris has not touched his money. I'm on the other hand actually living on my money, and he's got like 20 times more than me in pending rewards. So it just shows, you know, if you leave it longer, you'll get more. But however, what I decided to do was get to V2, and you guys know V2 is a very important rank, because at V2 you get a monthly bonus, which is enough to live on. So having got there now, I will not be touching any of my rebuys at all, because the monthly bonus, which is completely separate to everything else, it's a profit from the company, enables me to carry on rebuying without any problems. So, you know, that should allow me to sort of start catching up a bit. But Boris is way ahead. He's not touched a penny. He's not touched his bonuses either. Every single bonus has gone into his rebuys as well. So the beauty of the rebuys is that you will get a lot faster where you want to get to. The ones who actually take, and it's also happened to quite a lot of people as well, because they've been asking me questions, who've started taking the money out on the rebuys, have suddenly noticed that their pending rewards are going down dramatically. So it's very, very important to understand this delayed gratification situation, which Jill was talking about. And regards time, I mean, time is not stopping. It's moving forward all the time. Prior to joining Hyperfund, I had quite a bad situation with my health. My diabetes, my sugar counts were bad. My blood pressure was up. I thought I was doing the right things prior to that, but obviously things had caught up on a small scale, and that's why I started going to the gym. Now, having gone to the gym for 2 months already, there are improvements in my health. So it's those small little things. I'm only going 3 times a week, but it's making a massive difference to my health. And this is something we don't appreciate sometimes, especially as you get older. Things can catch up with you very well. And, you know, I'm looking at Jules there on the bike, and I'm thinking, you know, this is part of the process of helping ourselves improve our lives. You know, and we need to do it, whether we like it or not. Health is important, and to enjoy the wealth, you need that health. And as you get older, you need to be more involved with your health, and that's your eating, your exercise, etc. So, and besides that, then there's the habits. Now, everyone thinks that I work very, very, very hard all day, but I work smart. I don't work many hours a day. Okay, if I took all the hours I put into this in a day, it's barely 4 or 5 hours a day. But it's done smartly. Smartly means I actually do follow-ups. I do meetings. They take 35 minutes each, etc. When I'm actually making calls for myself, or doing something productive, I actually have a timer, and I think I've shown some of you this before. I actually put that on. It's an hour's long. Okay, so within that hour, I sort of say to myself, right, I'm going to start looking to contact people. I'll contact 10, 15, 20 people. It's amazing when you actually time yourself how quickly you can get more done and be more productive. So the thing is, this is really useful because you can do it on your phone as well. You can set it to an hour's time, and then after that hour, you actually look and see what you've done. Because predominantly, we human beings, we're lazy people. End of story. We're lazy people, and it's come over time, you know, because we don't have to hunt, we don't have to gather food anymore. It's a lot easier. And going back to what Jill was saying about the instant gratification, we get things instantly. So when we have to step outside our comfort zone, it's a bit hard, and it's easy to, like Jill says, it's easy not to do things. So what you need to do is actually start. Oh, well done, Ross. I've seen yours. It looks good. Yeah, it's easy to not do stuff. And you need to decide for yourself what you want. And this is what leads to everything. You need to decide what you want at the end of the day and what period of time you want it. I set a date from 6th of May to retire by the 31st of July. And that was the goal. And once you've got that in writing for yourself, not necessarily for anyone else, you'll actually work towards it. And then you need to know what you need to do. And if you don't know what to do, then speak to your upline, who'll help you decide, you know, what your steps are, what sort of quantity of calls you need to make. Mine has always been the same, 10 people a day I'll contact. And if I manage to speak to 10 people, great. If I don't, if I speak to 3 today and 6 tomorrow and 1 the other day after, I know I'm going to get 1 person a week signed up. So consequently, I'm getting an average of 2 to 3 people a week signed up, and that's personals. and then I'm working with my team to help them bring people in, and some of them are working very, very well. Now, as a result of what I've been doing and the success in the calls I've been making, I've decided to take this upon myself to actually do a presentation or a presentation to get your prospects to say yes. Now, I haven't fixed a date, but I'm going to try it this Tuesday at 8 o'clock. So it's for you guys to invite and tell your people to invite people too, and see if it makes a difference, because I'm getting almost 100% success rate in this. All you have to do is get your people to invite people, and keep it simple. Do you want to make any extra money? Yes. Okay, great. There's somebody doing a presentation all about it. If you want to tell the story about the chef who did it in 12 weeks, great. Do whatever you need to do. The point is, if you get the people there, my job will be to tell my story, and hopefully that will then get them to say, yes, what do I do next? And then all you have to do is get them into a presentation or sign them up. Either way, it doesn't matter, because that's happening very, very fast at the moment. We're joining about 30 or 40 people a month now. So that's a lot of people coming in. The group has grown from 200 to nearly 400 in a month. And I'm not responsible for that. I am indirectly with some of the follow-ups, but the people in the team are starting to build without me. And this is where Joe was talking about momentum. You get to the stage where other people are doing what you're doing on a larger scale, and it will happen. You just keep bringing the people in. All you've got to do is keep bringing them in consistently. And my goal is always one person per week. That is my ultimate goal. If I can bring one person in a week, then I know I'm doing my job. And that's me personally. You've got to decide for yourself what you guys want to do, how you want to build it, how fast. I'm not dictating anyone what speed they need to do it. You know your own goals, your own, your own timelines, etc. I've had 2 heart attacks. That certainly makes me think a lot more about time, because I was very, very lucky. I know a lot of people who didn't even survive their first heart attack. The fact that I survived 2 gives me the oomph to sort of go on and do it, and that's really, really important to me. But I want to help a lot of people, and like I say to most people now, because I've been in this opportunity for that long, I'm earning a lot more than I need, so I'm able to actually start building teams in Africa where people are being, I'm paying it forward, and it's not because it's because I want to, but it's also because I can. And this is really crucial. When you can do something like that, it makes a massive difference, and people appreciate it. And guess what? If you pay it forward, 300 comes back to you, because that's going to be coming back to you in the 20% or whatever amount per month, per day for 600 days. So whatever, it all comes back. And this is important to understand. Everything comes back. So think about it from that point of view. So what I'd like to do now is close the recording and open up for you guys to share what you've learned from today, which is important.